Settling into our mat. Knees bent, feet flat, feet about hip distance apart. One hand on the belly and one hand just on that lower chest there. Starting to deepen your breath, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Exhaling as if you're blowing out birthday candles. Exhaling so that you can hear your breath. And exhaling so that you can feel some changes happening in your core. Option to close your eyes if you want to and really become aware of your body. Seeing how your body feels this morning on your mat. Noticing any differences side to side. Appreciating that natural arch of our low back and that natural curve of our spine. On the next exhale, starting to bring some more focus into our core. Exhaling and drawing the belly button up and in. Inhaling and relaxing. Exhaling and connecting your rib cage down towards your hips. And starting to notice some differences between those two positions. So fully relaxed, seeing what that feels like. And then exhaling, your hands almost coming closer together. It's not super dramatic here, it's just a subtle change. And on this next one, we're going to exhale, hold that connection in our core, and continue normal breathing. Not necessarily a deep breath, but just a normal breath. And maybe observing with our hands, feeling around that our rib cage is not so much pointing upward, but now it's flattened down. And poking around that we feel this activation kind of deep within our core. And appreciating how we can still breathe normally, transferring this idea to sitting, standing, and walking for day-to-day life. Keep holding that connection here. And then take arms down by your sides. We're going to start right off with a set of hundreds to get ourselves nice and warm. I'm definitely a little chilly. We're going to inhale through the nose and then exhale, lift head, neck, and shoulders. Reach your fingertips nice and long past your hips and start to pump those arms. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Option to leave your feet down onto your mat or picking them up into tabletop, knees directly over the hips. Keeping your neck nice and long, chin away from chest, belly button still pulling in, still reaching your fingertips long. Maybe you extend your legs straight at about 45 degrees. Maybe you squeeze heels together, toes apart. Keep that breathing going. If you feel your forearms starting to break or slack at all, just take a break and hop back in when you can. Few more breath cycles here. Good, last one. Perfect. Exhale, relax everything down, hug your knees into your chest. Rocking from side to side. Maybe taking little circles with your low back. Feeling our heart rates raise a little bit after that, letting it come back down. Perfect. From here, feet come back down to our mat. We're going to start with a few pelvic tilts here. So exhale, lifting the tailbone only, scooping up those lower abs, and then letting the tailbone relax back down. Exhale, scoop up and in, just a little lift. Keep your feet nice and light on your mat. On this next one, starting to lift up one vertebrae higher each time, really rolling segmentally and peeling each vertebrae and lowering each vertebrae. Ask yourself if you can feel those low abs kicking in that initial lift and that last bit of lowering. Keep peeling up higher and higher. See how long you can hold on to that core activation as you lift. On this last one, hold here at the top, whatever that means for you, whether that's halfway, all the way, 3/4 of the way. And we're just gonna pause here. Go ahead and lift both toes up at the same time. We're gonna butterfly both knees wide, inhaling, and then exhale, both knees come to touch in the center, squeezing with those inner thighs. Inhale, open. Exhale, close all the way, little squeeze in the middle. We're swiveling on those heels. Last one, inhale, open. Exhale, close all the way. Knees back to neutral, toes down, lower those hips one vertebrae at a time. Perfect. From here, exhale, lift the hips, rolling up one vertebrae at a time, pausing at the top, whatever that means for you. Hands are gonna come to the front of the hip bones here, and we're gonna start some slow marches, hovering one foot off of your mat and trying to keep your hips nice and level. Slowly switching one side to the other with the goal of keeping those hip bones nice and even. Maybe you notice that one side likes to drop more than the other. Trying our best here. You don't necessarily have to bring that leg all the way up to tabletop, but you can if you want to. This exercise is definitely more about taking away that one point of contact here. Last one on each side. Good. Back to the center, slowly lower down. Perfect. From here, we're going to go ahead and clasp up underneath one knee. So I'm using the right side to start. Exhale, straightening out that one leg as much as you can, pressing the back of your knee in toward your hands, and then lower back down. Nice little contract, relax for the hamstrings. Exhale, straighten and lengthen, maybe getting a little bit further each time, and lower down. On this next one, hold straight, back of the knee, pressing down. From here, relax your arms down by your sides. Keep that length. And we're just going to rotate from the hip socket. Toe points in, heel points out. And then toe out, heel in. Still active in our lower abs here. So help out that leg, that thigh, and that hip flexor by using your low abs here. Lighten up your opposite foot. On this last one, hold here with toe in, heel out in our internal rotation. And we're going to start doing little small circles about the size of a tennis ball or baseball, trying to keep everything else absolutely frozen, including that opposite leg. And then reverse directions. Good. On this next one, rotate that leg back to toe out, heel in. Let that bottom leg extend all the way long and straight. We're making bigger, larger leg circles, exhaling at the bottom. Keep that connection here and reverse directions. Again, ask yourself what's working. On this last one, hug that knee in towards your chest. Give that ankle a little roll, clockwise and counterclockwise. Perfect. Let that foot come down, take both legs back to bent, and then from here, clasping underneath that opposite knee. Exhale, lengthen and straighten as much as you can, and then bend it back down. Exhale, push to straight. If you can get all the way straight already, hold your knee in a little bit closer to your chest to start. Feeling that stretch. And on this last one, hold straight, lengthen as much as you can, and then from here, drop that arms down by your side, lengthen that leg up towards the ceiling, and starting to rotate through that hip. Toe in, heel out, and then toe out, heel in. Lighten up that opposite leg on your mat. Feel work coming from your low abs. On this last one, hold here with toe in, heel out, drawing little circles. Think about that leg spiraling up towards the ceiling as if a string is attached to your toe. And reverse directions. Toe still in, heel still out. Everything else frozen. On this last one here, rotate toe out, heel in, extend that bottom leg long and straight. Larger leg circles here, exhaling at the bottom. Good. Keep everything still. Keep the hips from rocking and tilting. Reverse directions. Last one here, hug that knee in towards your chest. Give it a little break and roll out that ankle, both clockwise and counterclockwise. Perfect. From here, let's go ahead and lengthen our body out long. Inhale and taking a long stretch, as if you just woke up in the morning. Maybe pointing your toes, maybe flexing your feet. And then from here, starting a full body roll up. So inhale through the nose, exhale, arms, head, neck, and shoulders, rolling up as high as you can without momentum. Maybe you get stuck, maybe you keep going, reaching over those toes. At the top, tuck down, round your back, pull your belly button in, relax your shoulders away from your ears, and slowly rolling on down. We're going to give it another try. Exhale, arms, head, neck, and shoulders, curling up, reaching over those toes. At the top, relax your shoulders away from your ears, tuck your tailbone, pull belly button in, and slowly lower one vertebrae at a time. Perfect. On this next one, we're going to hug one knee in towards our chest, lengthen the other leg long at about 45 degrees, and then exhale, lift head, neck, and shoulders up, chest lifting, chin away from your chest. We're going to inhale for 2, exhale, switch for 2. Inhale for 2, exhale, switch for 2. Perfect. Single leg, bent leg stretch. Trying your best to lift your chest while still keeping your neck nice and long, making sure that that straight leg is really lengthening long away from the center of the body. On this next one, we're going to add a hollow body hold. So what that means is arms and legs are going to reach long. Exhale, pull into a little ball here. Inhale, open, reach. Exhale, pull in. One more like that. During this series, if you need to take a break, feel free. Hop back in when you can. Grabbing up as high as you can. Straight leg stretch, pulling in for a nice hamstring stretch at the top. Inhale for 2. Exhale, switch for 2. Our neck is about to get a nice little break as we bring our hands towards our head, elbows stay wide and legs up towards the ceiling. If you can, squeeze heels together, toes apart. We're going to slowly lower both legs down only as far as you can, maintaining your position in the center. Exhale it back up to the top. For me, that's only a few inches down. On this next one, we're going to separate those feet about hip distance apart, reaching to opposite outside ankle, and lifting shoulder blade up as high as we can. Exhale, switch, and twist. Finishing strong here. We've got one more exercise, and it is our bicycle twist. So, elbows stay wide. Think armpit to knee. Exhale, switch. Good. We are almost done. Last 2. And 1. Relax it down. Head comes down, knees come to your chest. Roll it out, rock from side to side, whatever feels best here. We're going to go for one more set of bridges here. This time it's going to be a single leg bridge. So place your left foot down, right leg stays in close to your chest. From here, we're going to let the arms come down by your side, keeping that right knee pulled in as much as you can. From here, pressing through the left heel, we're going to lift both hips up, squeezing at the top, and slowly lower. Exhale, lifting hips, squeeze at the top, and lower. This time the bridge doesn't really involve the low abs quite as much. This one's all for those glutes and hamstrings. On this last one, pause here at the top. Exhale, kick that right leg long and straight away from you. Inhale it back in towards the chest. Exhale, kick long and straight. Inhale it back in. On this last one, kick long and straight, and we're just going to kick straight leg up towards the ceiling and slowly lower. Up and down, last one. Good. Hug it in towards the chest, lower the hips. Perfect, switching sides. Hug that left knee in towards the chest. Right heel plants down. Lower the arms down, keep that knee in close. Exhale, pressing, driving through that heel, lifting both hips, and lower. Exhale, lift, driving all the way up towards the ceiling, and lower. On the last one, hold lifted. Exhale, press that left leg long and straight away from you. Inhale it back in. Exhale, push long and straight, reach. And back in. On this last one, push long and straight. Hold it straight. Kick it up towards the ceiling. Lower back to knee height. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last one. Perfect. Knee comes in, hips come down. Hug both knees into your chest. This time, we're going to do a nice little push-pull to open up that low back. Hands are going to wrap around the shins, and arms are going to pull your knees in towards your chest, and knees are going to push away from your chest. So both of those at the same time. Push and pull, matching equal pressure, feeling a nice gentle opening through the low back. Find that gapping sensation. You can hold here, you can rock side to side, you can relax down and go back into it, whatever feels the best. And last one, pushing and pulling. Perfect. From here, let's go ahead and roll right to our side. Stacking one hip on top of the other. And belly button pulling in, lifting and wrapping off of our mat. Chest stays still, top shoulder stays still, top arm somewhere other than your mat. I like top hip or behind the head. From here, reaching that top leg long at the height of the hip, keeping it here the whole time. Take 1 inch longer to reach that leg away from the center of the body, squaring off the hips and helping to engage the core. Keep that length. We're going to inhale, kick to the front for 2. Exhale, kick to the back for 2. We're only kicking as far out as we can while maintaining control through the center. So if that means it's a smaller kick, that is okay. The goal is to have everything in the upper body be relatively still. On this next one, add your bicycle kick. Bend and extend to the front, reach long and straight to the back. Bend and extend. Exhale, reach long to the back. Every time that leg straightens, also think about it lengthening. On this next one, reverse direction, straight to the front, bend and extend to the back. From here, our favorite little test, we're going to hold that top leg lifted, extend the bottom leg long and straight. Exhale, reach the bottom leg to match the top. Hold, 2, 3, and lower bottom leg only. Exhale, lift, heels touch. Hold, 2, 3, and lower. 2 more like that. Exhale, lift. And lower, trying to stay as still as possible. Last one, hold, lifted, little flutter kicks. Both legs, little kicks. Everything in the upper body stays still. We're here for last 3, 2, and 1. Relax both legs down. We're gonna hug knees in about 1/4 of the way so that knees are about 45 degrees off from the hips. This can be adjusted as needed based on how it feels. From here, keep activating your core. We're going to lift both feet up towards the ceiling. Exhale, heels stay together, top knee opens, high clamshell, and lower. This top hand that's on the top hip is monitoring to make sure that as you open, that top hip doesn't rock backwards and we don't let anything come up towards the ceiling. Perfect. Keep it stacked. On this next one, we're going to add a little kick here. So, top knee opens. We're going to extend that leg straight and long, bend it back in, heels connect, and then knee goes down. So again, top knee lifts, kick, long and straight, bend back in, and lower. Good. 2 more like that. And last one. Perfect. Knees come down, feet come down. We're going to hold here for a moment, restack those knees. And now for a reverse clamshell, Top foot is going to lift and lower. So top foot only lifts, knees stay together. Here, working the internal rotators of the hip. Sometimes this one takes a little bit longer to kind of kick in. So this top hand is monitoring. See if you can feel a very deep muscle working here. Also a muscle that's a little bit more in front is working. That is the TFL. Good, last one. Perfect. Hug your knees in even tighter towards your chest. Let your head relax down on your arm. We're here for our nice open book twist. So top arm reaches long. And then reach up towards the ceiling, eyes following your hand. Open your chest as much as you want to, twisting to the opposite side. Either holding here or starting to close back your book. Couple options here. You can do this with arms straight or elbow bent. You can do this with any type of angle. Maybe it feels better to lift your arm a little bit closer towards your head, or maybe lower down towards your hips. Whatever feels best for you, playing around with it. Taking deep breaths through this, opening and expanding through the rib cage. We love this twist and this mobility exercise because it mobilizes the mid-spine, keeps the low back relatively still. Nice stretch for the chest, and good mobility for the shoulder blade. Last one. Perfect, close it back up. We're gonna let those knees come down, back again, but we're gonna prop up this time onto forearm for a nice side plank here. So, another one with some options. Elbow directly underneath the shoulder, head nice and long. We can stay here in this modified side plank on our knees, or if you want to, you can extend the legs straight and be up on your feet. Whichever one you choose here is good with me. Exhale, we're gonna lift up and hold. And inhale and lower. Exhale, lift up and hold. Inhale, lower. On this last one, lifting up and holding here. Pull belly button in. Maybe taking your top hand up towards the ceiling. Whether you're on your feet or your knees, we're gonna slide that top arm through, threading down. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, thread down and through. Inhale, reach. Last one. Perfect. Lower hips down. Awesome. From here, we're going to go ahead and just swivel onto our sits bones in a crisscross position. From here, we're going to take one hand down, either hand or elbow, and reach up and over for a nice stretch. Keeping hips anchored down. And then taking it to the other side, hand or elbow, reaching up and over. And then from here, lowering down onto your other side, taking those feet nice and long, coming down, resting your head on your hand or your arm, whatever is more comfortable, setting up for our sideline here. So hips all the way stacked, making sure that that bottom hip is all the way underneath, you're fully on your side. And then from here, take your top leg, lifting it up at the height of your hip. Take that one little reach longer lifting belly button, wrapping up and in. Keep that length as you kick forward for 2 and kick back for 2. Inhale and exhale. See how still you can be through your upper body. Everything above the waist is controlled. Perfect. On this next one, we'll take a nice bend and extend. Reach long and straight. Every time that leg straightens, it also lengthens and reaches. On this last one, straight to the front, bend and extend to the back. Reversing directions. Only making this as big as you can control. On this last one, hold that top leg lifted, extend the bottom one long and straight. Exhale, meet heels together, bottom lifts up to the top. Hold, 2, 3, and lower. Trying our best to minimize any wobbling. Hold, 2, 3, and lower. 2 more, exhale, lift. And lower, last one. Hold, lifted, little flutter kicks. Both legs stay straight, so this motion's coming from the hips. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Relax both feet down. Bend those knees into about 45 degrees. From here, lift both feet up towards the ceiling. Exhale, heels stay together, top knee opens, high clamshell. With our feet lifted here, it gives us a little bit more range of motion because now that hip is able to go past neutral, slightly into internal rotation. So we're spanning a full range, internal to external. Everything else stays still. Check back in with the core. And we were just about to start kicking with that top knee open. So exhale, lift that top knee up and extend, kick, bend in and back down. Again, knee lifts, kick, open, straight, in and down. 2 more like that. Good. Last one. Open, kick, in and down. Perfect. Lower the knees, lower the feet. From here, our reverse clamshell, keeping both knees together. We're going to just open up our top foot. So exhale, rotate and twist and down. Nothing else really changes here, but you can feel with your hand, your top hand, what's working. Knees are stacked right on top of the other. A few more just like this. Trying to lift that top foot up as high as you can. On this last one, go ahead and lower that top foot down. Bring your knees even closer in towards your chest and then lower your head on your arm. Reach that top arm forward, inhaling. And exhale, twist for our open book. Eyes following that hand. And closing it back up. Again, reach forward and long. lengthening the spine, doing what feels best, whether that's angling the arm up or down, holding open, seeing if this side feels different from the other side. And then closing it back up. From here, send those knees down and away again, propping up onto your forearm with elbow directly underneath your shoulder. Knees can stay down or legs can extend straight. We're here for our side plank. Exhale, lift the hips. Inhale and lower down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Again, option to go up onto your feet. Good. Keep pressing down strong through that bottom shoulder. On this last one, hold lifted. Hand comes up towards the ceiling. Exhale, thread it through, taking your chest more towards the mat. Inhale, open. Exhale, twist and thread. Inhale, open. And last one. Perfect. From here, prop yourself up all the way, crisscrossing your feet. This time, clasp your hands together, reach forward with your hands and back with your chest. Take it side to side if that feels good. Breathing in through those upper back ribs. Perfect. From here, we're going to twist to the side, scooting a little bit forward on your mat so that you have some room here. And then we're going to stay with knees bent, toes up towards the ceiling. Hands out in front of you, start to round your back quite a lot. Pull belly button in. Hold here, keeping your neck nice and long. From here, we're going to start to march. One leg up and back down. Switching sides. Inhale and exhale. On this next one, either stay with the marching or lifting up into boat pose. Find balance and find stillness. Breathing here. Feeling all of those tiny little adjustments that our body is making. Last deep breath. And relax it into butterfly. Soles of the feet together, nose to toes. From here, coming back, closing the knees up. We're going to find ourselves in boat pose again, but this time we're going to go for a nice rock and roll. So, you can either hold your arms hovering by your shins or option to have your hands just right on front resting. Rounding your back as much as you can, looking at your belly button. We're going to roll back and then pause at the top. Again, roll back. Trying not to use momentum here, finding stillness. Either keeping knees bent, option to straighten out, holding onto the backs of the calves, or open leg rocker is an option as well. So trying out a different position if you want to. And last one. Relax back into butterfly. Soles of the feet together, nose to toes. From here, take your right hand up towards the ceiling. looking at that hand. And switching sides, left hand up towards the ceiling, looking up. And perfect, back down. Go ahead and lengthen out your legs to straight. We're gonna take both feet about the width of your mat and take a just nice forward fold here. Taking a nice deep breath in, and then exhale, let yourself melt a little bit further towards the mat. Maybe gently rocking from side to side. From here, restacking the spine all the way up until you're sitting up as tall as you possibly can. From here, arms are going to come wide into our T. Pull belly button in, lifting and lengthening. Exhale, twist, 2, 3, and center. Exhale, twist, 2, 3, and center. Pretend like you're wringing out a towel, twisting and lengthening at the same time. On this next one, same thing except hands come behind the head. Exhale, twist, 2, 3, and center. Feeling our back muscles working very hard. And last one. And reach forward and relax. Perfect. From here, go ahead and take your legs back behind you, shifting over your knees into hands and knees. We're gonna go in for a few cat-cows here. So, rounding your back, looking at your belly button. And inhale, chest lowers, tailbone lifts. On this next one, option to add a little bit more rocking here. So, for example, as you round your back and tailbone tucks, maybe shifting your weight into your hands a little bit more. And then back to the center. As you arch your back, looking up, take maybe a shift back onto your knees, sending your hips towards your heels. See how that changes the stretch.
You're doing very well, Kelly.
And on this next one, find your way back to hands and knees, finding a flat, neutral spine. From here, coming into some bird dog, so opposite arm, opposite leg is going to reach long, so long that we start to hover, making sure that we don't lift up too high that it changes the position of our backs, and then slowly coming back in. Reach long, keep belly button lifted, keep spine long and straight. Option to hold at the top for a little bit and see how you do in terms of finding that stillness. If you feel like you've really mastered this one and want an added challenge, try it with both toes lifted off of your mat, and it really changes things, makes it a lot more challenging. Maybe noticing that one side is a little bit more still and controlled than the other. Good. On this last one, we're going to take it back down into child's heels to reach your arms long. Take a nice deep breath, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. We're going to come into a few planks here, so you can choose either hands or forearms. That is totally up to you. If you do choose forearms, maybe making sure that the hands are not clasped together. They are parallel, and maybe palms are facing upwards instead. So our first set is just going to be a nice hold. We're going to straight line all the way from heels through the top of your head. So pay attention to what your head and neck is doing. We don't want it to be drooping down, and we don't want it to be turtling upwards. So lengthen the back of your neck, your face is towards your mat, and just breathing here. Finding your good technique. Broadening up the upper back to make sure that we're not sinking down through the shoulders. Maybe softening your knees just a little bit, taking more of the work into your low abs. Last 3, 2, and 1. Take a little break. Rolling out your wrists if you are on your hands. Sitting back into child's pose if you are on your elbows. For this second set, we're going to go ahead and do a little hip dip. So we practiced this last time at the yoga barn. So as a reminder, we're trying our best to keep the heels still with this one so that we're just dipping through the pelvis and not through the whole leg and hips. So if you can during this, maybe peek down just quickly at the heels to make sure that they're not wishing side to side. Each time, bring those hips back to our starting position. Good. Last one on each side. Perfect. Relax it back down. For this last set, we're going to go into a plank to pike. So we can both do this on our hands or our forearms. If we are on our hands, we're pretty much going from plank to down dog. If we're on our elbows, we're going from plank to kind of a dolphin. So your hips come up as high as you can, dropping your shoulders away from your ears, and then back to our plank. So choose one of those two variations with the goal of keeping the shoulder blades kind of down and away. Pushing the mat away from you. Good for shoulder stability. Think about someone trying to poke you in the belly button and you're lifting away from that. Last one. Awesome. Take a child's pose and relax. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Right arm is going to thread through, left armpit twisting to the side, looking under that left armpit.
I'll be with you in a minute, Lily.
And then switching sides, left hand threads through right armpit. here, we're going to take our right foot forward into a nice low lunge, shifting your hips forward and then a few inches back. So shifting forward and back. On this next one, adding a nice little side bend. So I'm side bending to my right to get a deeper stretch through my left hip flexor. Perfect. From here, front leg straightens, square off the hips, and then with a flat back, start to fold forward and then come up. So still keeping it dynamic by coming in and out of your stretch. Little balance component as well, so keep that core active. Last one. Perfect. Take that right leg back, shoot that left leg in front, and bend it through. Hips come forward, hips come back. On this next one, adding that little side bend if you want to, getting a deeper stretch through that front hip flexor. And then from here, straighten out the front leg, squaring off the hips, and with a flat back, fold forward, lengthening your back, and coming on up. And last one here. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and end with a variation of a figure four stretch in whatever way you want. So you can either lay on your back and pull in, or if you want to, you can stack lower legs and sit up tall and fold forward. Another option is crossing that foot all the way over and hugging in towards your chest, or twisting. So take whatever variation you want and that feels good for you, feeling a nice stretch in those glutes.
You're such a good yoga girl.
Whenever you are ready, go ahead and switch sides. Either stacking lower legs or crossing over, hugging, twisting. And then sitting up nice and tall, maybe crisscrossing. And inhale, shoulders up towards your ears, squeezing eyes, toes, every muscle that you possibly can, all that tension up and in. Exhale, relax it down and shake it out. Last one, inhale, everything up and in. And exhaling and just letting it go. Awesome, awesome job. Thank you guys for joining me on this snowy day. I am pretty glad to have switched to Zoom because it is not looking too good out there. So